Let's talk about monkeys. Monkeys are a taxonomic suborder of primates called simians, meaning that they share the other half of the simian tree with apes, and that both apes and monkeys share a common ancestor with lemurs and lori. For example of apes, think gorillas, orangutans, and humans. For lemurs, think Zabumafu and King Julian, who are a sifaka and ringtail respectively. And for lori, well, think slow loris. Monkeys have the largest variety of species out of all the primates, and are some of the most iconic animals out there. They cover a lot of the globe, being native to Asia, Africa, South America, North America, and Europe. Barely. They literally only naturally appear in Gibraltar, but it still counts. They're also known for being mischievous, loud, and full of energy. They can be big, small, caring, violent. There's so much variety that we still don't understand how most of them work. Not to mention their appearances in media. Kung Fu Panda's monkey, who's a Gee's golden langur. Rafiki from The Lion King, who's a mandrill. Steve from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, who's a vervet. And Dexter from Night at the Museum, who's an actual capuchin. And then we have Coach Dennis from Goat, who is a proboscis monkey. But all of this has got me thinking. What species of monkey are the Bloons Tower Defense monkeys supposed to be? Before we can determine what type of monkey our balloon-popping friends are, we need to establish some details. Firstly, their appearance. The Bloons Tower Defense monkeys appear to be entirely brown, with shorter hair covering their entire body, with the exceptions of their hands, feet, and face, which are a slightly lighter shade of brown. Notably, they can come in different colors than brown, namely white or tannish, or whatever this is. But those are probably to do with magic or something. They also have rather long tails that are good for balancing. So, what we are looking for is mostly brown monkeys with a longer tail. Next, we need to look at their natural habitat. Because there are a plethora of different biomes in which the monkeys are waging their war against the balloons in, it might seem that this is a pointless endeavor, since they seem to be doing fine in any hemisphere. But there are a few details that can help us determine their original living space. Actually, there's one detail, and that being the usage of pineapples and bananas. We never outright see the monkeys within the Bloons series eat anything, but we do know that they grow lots of bananas for extra money. And since we don't see the bananas being used for anything, it can be safely assumed that they are eating them. As for pineapples, those are used as bombs, so it can be safely assumed that they've had access to these two fruits for a long time in order to create them in such high bulk amounts. And both of these fruits are found in tropical environments, where there's plenty of humidity and heat, with rather mild winters. So we are also looking for monkeys that live in either tropical environments or near the equator. Next, these monkeys are incredibly smart. Smarter than any actual real living monkey. Seeing as they have an economy, boats, planes, factories, and so forth, we can say that they are at the level of human intelligence. All of this, of course, cannot be achieved without a large and complex social structure. Although we don't know how this social structure works in practice, unfortunately. So we are looking for monkeys who live in large groups and have complex social structure and behavior. Finally, and most importantly, they need to throw things. This might seem like a rather bland point to add, but as far as primates go, the absolute king of throwing things would be humans. Other apes, monkeys, and lemurs don't really see the need to throw things all the time, instead using their strength and teeth to get stuff done. Not to say that only humans throw things, just that we by far do it the most. And we aim our throws and throw overhand, just like the monkeys do in Bloons Tower Defense. This throwing technique is not at all common in monkeys, as most of them lack the shoulder muscles or motivation to do so. With those 4 qualifying details out of the way, may I introduce to you my wall of monkeys. This wall contains most of the monkeys in the world, or at least every monkey in the Walker's Primates of the World by Ronald M. Novak circa 1999. So there's definitely some monkeys that are not on this wall, as we've discovered plenty of monkeys in the 27 years since 1999. Apologies to any of those monkeys watching. Hi, Editing Lands here. Just to clarify that with the exceptions of the bearded saki and the pygmy marmoset, there's only one type of species of monkey per monkey on the wall of monkeys. For example, there's more than one type of colobus monkey, but only one of them on the wall. Got it? Thanks. Back to the video. Although, since the first Bloons game, titled Bloons, came out in March 27th of 2007, it's really only the monkeys that were discovered in the 8 years between, but I digress. Anyways, back to the wall of monkeys. We can exclude a lot of monkeys really quickly using our established traits. First of all, let's get rid of all the monkeys who do not live in groups of over, let's say, 20. You're not generally going to have more than 20 monkeys on screen at a time, and it's also large enough to be considered a fairly big group. After all, you would want to call a restaurant in advance if you had 20 people coming. So, 20 seems fair to me. That eliminated less than I thought. But it is less than before. So, let's take a look at the monkeys with some of the largest groups. The first species of monkey who lives in some of the largest hordes are actually mandrills. They live in hordes of up to 200 monkeys, a number that definitely qualifies with our Bloons monkeys. With a group of that size, you naturally need a deep and complex social structure to manage things. And they also live in the tropical or jungle areas of Africa, all nearby the equator. All checks. But that's where the similarities stop. Even at a glance, you can tell that they don't look anything like the Bloons monkeys. While the females, non-dominant males, and babies all have brown faces, it would be too much to ignore the proverbial elephant in the room of the male's brightly colored face, and the exposed rear end, which includes the short stubby tail. Again, not anything like what we're looking for. And to top it off, despite the mandrill's well-known ability at hunting, they do not throw very often, and are not that good at it when they do. Maybe we should look at the squirrel monkeys. They also live in massive hordes, and no, these guys don't look anything like them either. Okay, maybe we should narrow our parameters a bit more. Let's exclude any monkey that doesn't obviously look like our monkeys. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. Let's see, how about we start with the woolly monkey? These guys pass the look check, and they commonly live in groups of around 35 monkeys. Not a huge group, but sizable enough for our purposes. Next is natural environment. They live in the Amazonian lowlands, a perfect hub for tropical fruits. Great! Now let's talk about their social behavior. Well, there's not actually that much study that's been done on this, that I could find at least, as they seem to be rather elusive. But from the small amount of data collected, it seems that they don't have that much of a robust social system, with most of their time spent resting or foraging. And the most social interactions they are having is usually huddling or breastfeeding, though it was noted that the young males did play with each other. Yeah, not exactly a glowing review. But maybe we just haven't seen enough of them to really have a good understanding. So let's check out the throwing ability. While, yes, they can throw things, it's rather uncommon. You know what, this seems like a bust. A seemingly lackluster social system and an unnoteworthy throwing capability. Let's try a monkey I know for certain has a robust social system. Macaques. They passed the look test, well enough. We can stretch the imagination a little, I suppose. Plus, they frequently live in groups of 20 to 50 monkeys, comfortably above our minimum. And those groups have robust social dynamics, with shifting factions and power dynamics, and a lot of play and chitter. Not to mention the macaques are extremely diverse, and live pretty much anywhere in South and Southeast Asia. That fits well with the diverse set of maps that you play in the Bloons Tower Defense games. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. How about throwing ability? According to my research, there has been recorded data of throwing amongst macaques, and while it varies from group to group, there are several recorded cases of macaques throwing stones semi-frequently. Great. We have our answer, right? Not quite. You see, in those recorded cases, the macaques would generally throw the stones straight up in the air or behind themselves. Not exactly the type of throwing that we're looking for. It's the best match we have so far, but let's keep searching. How about capuchins? They passed the look test, or at least, well, the brown tufted ones do. Their group size varies a lot, but seeing groups of 30 plus is not at all uncommon to see. So they passed the group size test. But how complex is their social structure? Very. Extremely complex. They have plenty of social time and interactions with each other. Plus, they are known to use tools frequently, promoting the idea of great intelligence. As for their natural habitat, Essentially, all of the Amazon rainforest is their natural habitat, a perfect place for tropical fruits. But what about the throwing ability? This is also a smashing success. Throwing has been noted to be a significant portion of their social lives. In a more recent study, scientists discovered a group of capuchin females that, during their mating season, would throw stones at males to essentially flirt with them. Not a traditional flirting technique, I must say, but it'd probably work on me, so no judgment. But beyond this, capuchins are known to throw stones in warning or to threaten others. Plus, the capuchins that were rock flirting were also doing it overhand. Kinda. But just like it enough to represent our Bloons monkeys. So, there we have it then. The best fitting monkey for the Bloons monkeys are capuchins. Well, at least for most of the monkeys. You see, I failed to mention one newer monkey that was added into the game more recently. The Desperado. And while I can write off the color differences of the Ice Monkey, Druid, and Mermonkey as magic, or due to their unique powers, with the Desperado, that doesn't seem to be the case. You see, the Desperado monkey has a slightly different look to him. While the traditional dart monkeys have brown fur and light brown skin, the Desperados have a cream or tan fur and dark ash gray or black skin tone. And while capuchins certainly come in many different varieties, there's none that quite match this image. But there is another monkey that does, and that is the langur. You see, langurs, or more specifically, the gray langur, does not match most of our key details that we were looking for with the dart monkeys, as they do not live in large groups, but instead of smaller groups of 7 to 15, with there being generally one leading male in charge. And they can be very territorial. As just discussed, they don't match the general dart monkey visuals either. Nor are they exactly known to throw things very often, instead usually aiming and dropping stones on things. But like I said, they do match the look of the Desperado. And I would like to bring your attention to one specific upgrade for the Desperado, and that is the bottom tree, Wanderer. A Wanderer works best alone. Desperado attacks much faster, but less so when more monkeys are in each weapon's attack range. Now doesn't that sound like something a monkey that appears in smaller groups and is highly territorial might be? And as for the not throwing part, the Desperado doesn't throw anything either. He shoots a gun, and a gun is a tool. And guess what langurs are very proficient in using? That's right, tools. Langurs are considered very intelligent, and have been frequently noted as using tools to forage, dig, and of course, defend their territories. Which, ironically, is just saying that they throw sticks and rocks in the general direction of their opponents, meaning that one of the few times they do throw is while attacking, but c'est la vie. And there we have it. All in all, I can safely say that for the majority of the monkeys, it can be assumed that they are brown tufted capuchins, and the Desperado can be classified most likely as a gray langur. Hey, I wonder if anyone else has thought about this. Let's see. Oh, fuck!